at the first problem. No, let's take a look at B. We'll practice B. Maybe. Okay, the first thing I need you to do is write 3 sets of equal signs here. Okay? These are all the things you're going to need. I think on your exit ticket I'm giving you 20 points because I'm giving you a point for every single thing you write and every single thing you do. And then up here I need this times this equals this. And you'll see what that's for in a minute. Okay? So the first thing I need to do is erase an equal sign because they already changed it to a fraction times a fraction for me. Okay? So typically the first thing I do is change it to a fraction times a fraction. Then I'll take 4 times 3, the numerators and the denominators. All we do is write them down differently. Okay? Did you write that? Okay. And then I'm going to multiply 4 times 3. What is it? 12. And 10 times 10. 100. Okay? So now I'm going to rewrite this in standard form. And all I mean by that is decimals instead of fractions. Okay? George A., would you get the door for me, please? You two might have to switch places so he can see over you because you're pretty tall. Okay, so let's change 4/10 to a decimal. What do I write? 0.4. 0.3. What was my answer?
1200.
1200. How do I write that?
0.12.
Okay. So now comes the shading part. All right? This is the part that we had a little bit of issues with in block 1, but block 2 didn't have problems, okay? So put the word of there. That's going to help you know which one to do first. If I'm going to do 4/10 of 3/10, do you remember which one we need to do first?
The second one.
The second one, the 3/10. So right down here, I'm going to write 3/10. The kids kept forgetting that too. Okay, 3/10. And I'm going to shade 3/10 with my pencil, not a highlighter, and you'll see why in a minute. And then I'm going to shade 4/10. So 4/10 will be on the side. And I'm going to shade the opposite direction on the 4/10. Now comes your highlighter. Take your highlighter and just highlight where they crossed each other, where they made an X, where there were 2 sets of shading. Okay? And we're done. Okay, let's do the next one. That's all I have to do for that problem. But let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? 10 things for that problem. So now let's go down and do the next one. Put a star by this one. You have one like it on your exit ticket. This will help you a lot. So should you probably write down everything I write down? Okay. Okay, first step. I'm going to move my equal signs over so they don't run into my drawings. Okay? First step is to change them both to fractions. Looks like we have one fraction here, don't we? Okay, so 14/10. Try that again. All right, so now the numerator's on top, the denominator's on bottom. And what do I write for my answer, Cadence? I'm just going to multiply these two and multiply those two. So what do I have? 1400. Now we're going to write it in standard form. What does that mean? Well, let's go ahead and write the whole problem. Something times something equals something. So 1/10, change it to a decimal, 0.1. 1.4 is already a decimal, isn't it? And 1400ths, how do I write that? Okay, so you're done with that, you're ready for the drawing. So where am I going to write my of? Above the multiplication sign, okay? So 1/10 of 14/10. Now I noticed something about 14/10, it's improper. So that's why we have two drawings here, okay? So look at the board. Everyone look at the board. Don't do anything right now. There is 1/10. Your tenths are going to go, they kind of remind me of those 10 sticks, you know, for place value, okay? So your tenths are going to go vertical, all right? And in each hole, how many tenths do I have? 10. 10 tenths. So to get 14, I need 4 over here. 10 plus 4. So this is what the kids kept forgetting on their exit ticket. So I've got 10 tenths plus 4 tenths. What was that? 14 tenths. You need to write it as a fraction. So when I do this, I'm going to shape this whole square and then 4 of the others. And that should make 14. Remember, we're just looking at the vertical lines right now. Can you see that? Okay. So that should be 14 tenths. It'd help if the lines were a little darker, wouldn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to do 1/10 of that. So 1/10 going horizontal is just one row. And horizontal, let's go the other way with the shading. Okay, now I'm going to highlight how many of those.
The ones that you cross.
Well, the one that have the crosses in them, the X's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it should be 1400ths because that's what we got for our answer. Is that 1400ths?
Yeah.
Well, there's 100 here and 100 here, and I've got 10 plus 4, so that's 1400ths. Okay. So that one, you've got one very similar on your exit ticket today. Look back at this. Make sure you have everything written down that I wrote down. Double check it real quick for me. Okay? All right, let's go down to D. It's a little more difficult, but not too bad. So you still need 3 equal signs. And my first step is to do what? Change the whole numbers to fractions. And he wasn't even here yesterday, and he remembered that. So, ooh, what do I make this 1.7? 17 tenths. Very good. Because the 7 is in the tenths place. Okay? All right. Do you want to try and finish this problem by yourself? And then don't forget to write your standard form above the drawings. Might have to do a little bit of standard algorithm to figure out 6 times 17. Let everybody do their own work and then we'll talk about it, okay? Everybody try it. Figure out how you're going to do it. No. So 6 times 17. What did you get, Vaughn? 102. You guys agree?
Yes.
So this is an improper fraction. What does that mean? I'm going to have more than one whole that I highlight. Okay? So let's change it. Go ahead and change it to standard form. So 6/10 as a decimal?
0.6.
And that one's already a decimal. And how would I write 100/200ths? No, just wait. Let everybody think. 100/200ths. So what digit needs to be in the hundredths place? The 2. Okay? So Cheney, how do I write 100/200ths?
1.02.
1.02. Okay, and remember this strategy if you have to. The last digit you write is in the place value. Okay, so ready for the drawing? We're going to go back to writing the of. So which one of these am I going to do first? 17/10. So that's an improper fraction, so it's more than one whole. Watch what I'm going to put a bracket around. I'm not even going to count. I just know 17 is 3 less than 20. So I'm leaving 3 over here. Shade all of that. Cadence, are you feeling okay today? Good news on the horizon. Your exit ticket today is the last shading you will have to do in math class this year. Okay? What did I forget to write below my bracket?
The fraction.
What fraction do I need? 17/10. Very good. And it's 6/10 of 17/10. So on the side, how many do I need?
6.
Count carefully. Oops, I made a mistake. I have to keep going, don't I? And then highlight. I suppose when this is all said and done, it's going to be 102 boxes. There's an easy way to check to see if we did it right. Okay, so how can I check to see if this is 102? Well, this is 6 rows of 10, so what's that? 60. And this is 6 rows of 7. What's that? 42. So is 60 plus 42 102?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the back. Are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Abigail, just shade the part that has X's on it. The rest of them don't have X's. Uh-oh. We'll count 6 rows of 7. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Looks to me like they're giving us a format to use, so we'll just use that format. And besides that, it's the same as your teacher likes to use, isn't it? 3 equal signs. I'm going to move mine up a little bit. Okay, so on the first one, all we need to do is write the answer in standard form. So what's the answer? 3.5, or 3 and, how do I say that? 3 and 5? What? Okay, On this one, what do I need to do, Eurydia? On B.
You're gonna count the decimals and it's 0 and 3500.
Well, give me the fraction for my answer first.
5 times 7 tenths. And 5 times 7 is 35 and 10 times 2 is 100.
Very good. 0.35. Okay? I don't see any reason to write that in standard form twice, do you? So you don't have to do this step right here. Makes sense? We're just going to write it up on the line. Good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the next one, what am I ready for, Emily?
You're ready to put the 5 and the 7.
Good.
And then multiply it, which is 35 over 1,000.
Good.
And then 0.035.
Excellent. So let's take a look at D, E, and F. We'll practice those together. And then I think we'll try G. You can try G on your own and check it with mine. So 3 sets of equal signs. Let's start with that. So changing them both to fractions. One. Do I need to change them both? If I do, it's going to look like that, 6 over 1. So you could just know that in your head, couldn't you? You could write 6 times what, Vaughn? How do I write 3/10 as a fraction? Very good. Okay, second line. Add deal, what do I do?
6 and 3.
Yep, put the 10 under there. I don't need to write 10 times 1, but I can if I want. Okay, so this is 18 tenths. Okay, 18 tenths. Jair, how do I write that in standard form? 1.8. Very good. All right, the next one. George V. What's the first step? Change them both to, no? What did he say, boys and girls? Change them both to fractions. You're going to have to talk louder. The recording can't hear your voice anyway, even if you talk louder. Okay, so now I have Josue, what's my answer here? 1800ths. How do I write that in standard form? What? Okay, you guys agree? All right. Next one, Dara. What do I need to do first? Good. Pay careful attention to the 600ths because if you accidentally write 6/10, you'll get your problem wrong. Okay? Now what, George A? What do I do now? Good. So what's my answer to this one, George A? 18 thousandths. Okay? So, for me, how do I write that in standard form? 18 thousandths. Very good. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to do G, H, and I on your own. Put a star by this because the one on your exit ticket is very similar. Okay? Pay careful attention to these right here because if you get those right, you'll probably get the whole problem right. If you forget a 0, then you probably get the problem wrong. Okay? Okay, I want you to help me write these in standard form. So Cheney, how do I write 48/10 in standard form? Good. How'd you do? You get it? Okay. Beverly, how do I write 48/100 in standard form? Good. And Chloe, how do I write 48,000? What? She was ready, wasn't she? So if you made a mistake, was it here? Could it have been there? That's where I saw some mistakes on the exit ticket. I saw some mistakes there. They accidentally wrote 12 tens. Okay? All right, and then that made the whole thing incorrect. So let's take a look at the exit ticket. Okay? Your goal is to get no mistakes.
Wait, so if we don't get it wrong, then we don't have homework?
You were here yesterday, so you don't have homework anyway.
Oh, I think.
But of course your goal is to get this all right. So here's what I want to remind you. Rewrite it in standard form at the top. Okay? 3 equal signs here. And how many equal signs at the bottom? 3. Don't forget your brackets, your shading, your highlighting, all of that. Problems. What problem did we put a star by? C and G will help you from your problem set. Okay?